Okay. Hey, and welcome to the Saving live stream. I am super sorry. I think I might just have overseen a button in OBS, and basically the live stream already started, and I have to restart it again. Um, I see that a couple people have been waiting for us, so I'm super, super sorry. Yeah, we are live, we have been live, and it was a technical error. um, and you heard me already say we, so yes, I'm the only one in the office, but today we have a special guest. Jeff has joined me. You know him better from Discord as Mike J. And he, yeah, can introduce himself. Jeff, please tell the audience.
Hey, how? Good day, everyone. A little technical issues here, but we're past that as usual because that's what we do here. We solve tech issues, right? And create privacy. But yes, my name is Jeff Everett. I've been involved with the project for a little over 2 years now, and I could never be happier. This is one of the greatest projects I've ever been involved in my 28 years in tech. The team here is beyond belief. The things that you guys have created is just, or the program that you've created is just above and beyond. And I think it's going to be the future of privacy. And we'll get into that a little bit later, of why I think things are trending towards being more private and things like that. But I couldn't be happier to be part of the team. I appreciate everyone in the Discord. And I am available if I have the time. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions or concerns, or sometimes if you want to have a chat and I'm around, I'm more than happy to do that with our users as well. Very enjoyable.
Yeah, super cool. I very much appreciate your input, your help, like for all that time. And I already said in the pre-talk, again, technical issues. I'm so sorry. um, like you and 2 years has been a long time. You've seen Portmaster evolve a lot over the time.
Absolutely.
So it would be interesting to hear some stories and stuff you have seen, but also like for us, what I shared in the pre-talk was it helps having people who are like that passionate about what we do as well, who we then are accountable to as well, where we're like not officially, but from an emotional standpoint, the energy you bring in and the support you bring in helps us stay accountable and stay like focused and keeping doing what we're doing and wanting to do what we're doing, you know. So very much
Yes.
appreciate
Yeah.
it, Jeff.
Oh, no problem. I think running with it is the way to go. I'm so happy about our community. Everyone is always so willing to reach out and help one another and explain that this privacy journey is not going to
Yep.
be as big as an uphill battle as you might think. And I think that's one thing that if you're going to tell your friends and family and be an evangelist for us here at Safing, which we would really appreciate, let people know this is easy. It's not as technical as everyone wants to think it is. You
Yep.
guys have made a program. Like you were just asking me, have you run into any technical issues or anything I'd like to talk about? To be honest, I mean I do have a little bit of a more advanced tech background so I could probably alleviate a few problems, but I haven't found any. Even installing it on other people's machines and running it through them, I haven't found any huge problems, which made it so much easier to promote and put people at ease. I just can't thank you guys enough. And like I said, you guys sometimes give yourselves a hard time for not updating things on time or something like that. And I hope for you. I would like for you to know that you should give yourselves a pat on the back because it's definitely you guys are just amazing, and it's quite a feat what you've done. And when I explain it to people, how we divide the traffic up, how the privacy works, their jaws just drop, and they just know that they're in good hands with us. And I just would love to continue to see this project, or I'm going to love continuing to see this project evolve, and I'm really grateful to be a part of it.
Super cool. Yeah, you already said something that we talked about in the pre-stream, which I briefly want to touch on in the live stream as well. So the situation is I wanted to apologize a little bit for us still not releasing the sync feature. We have been talking about this late last year already, and we're by the end of March. This is the last March live stream, and it won't be out in March. And I feel like I would like to share more, but this is in Daniel's camp, so I won't. But rest assured, we are working on a couple of different things, and we are, as we said in the last or the two live streams ago, because the last one was also just me. We're currently stabilizing tons of things, and we're currently working on getting a lot of the technical depth sorted out. So I understand what you're saying, Jeff, and I thank you a lot for encouraging us to not stress ourselves too much about stuff like that. But what I like
Yeah.
about the live streams, what I like about talking with you and talking in the community is that I feel comfortable sharing this, and that I don't feel like everybody's then piling up on us and be like, what is going on? Yeah, I only saw one comment of somebody on GitHub who's like, oh no, no releases for so long. Like, are we doing something like moving, like changing licenses or something? And I'm like, no, it's just like development takes time, and we're not a huge
Yes.
team. Releases sometimes just take time.
Absolutely, and you want it right. You want to make sure everything's right, so we have less problems, so we can move on to the next thing. And I think that's something you guys do really well, really good as well. I mean, it's like I said, I've never had any problem. I always knew if I would go to a client or and explain this or go to install it, it was going to go, and it worked. It works right out of the box, and it makes the presentation seamless. So just I want all the users out there to know that. Practice it one time. Start up a VPN. Learn how it installs if you're going to tell your friends and family, because that's something you guys spend so much time doing, and you can get really caught up and in your own mind about it. And people outside, give us feedback.
Yeah.
Tell us whatever. I'm here. I'll filter it through me, bombard me, so Raphael and Daniel can do the development. I'll
And
be, you can beat on me and yell at me
and
if
don't
need be.
and don't just do it like Mike, where just saying everything works. Also helpful, but it also sometimes having quality feedback is useful as well. And I
Yes.
think I had a GitHub issue just yesterday where somebody was actually creating a new issue and then writing onto an old one saying, well, that's the same thing. And I'm like, this is sort of helpful, but the old one has been 1.5 years old, so there is no link. So if you feel like you found something, please let us know. Not everything you see is a bug. I think like what what Jeff is saying is also interesting to know. Like, and we talked about this earlier as well. Like in the normal setup, Portmaster should just work. What kind of machines are you installing Portmaster on? Is it Windows 11, Windows 10? Is it Linux based?
Majority of the machines that I'm doing are Windows 10. You have some Windows 11. Very few Linux. I mean, we're kind of we're a rarity, but at the same time, I always encourage others to use it
Yeah,
versus everything versus Windows, of course. But that pretty much is what I've been doing: Windows 10, Windows 11. A lot of people I noticed aren't going to Windows 11.
yeah.
I definitely noticed that, and they're staying with Windows 10. But yeah, overall, it's mainly Windows, and it's usually very easily, it's seamlessly installed. So
Yeah.
I want to find something to bug you about. I want to find something to complain, but so far so good.
But you're going to normal people who haven't installed like 3 VPNs, 5
Right.
antivirus, and other stuff next to it, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to focus. For the most part, if you know someone else that's really super tech, they're going to get this. Let them, the way that I've experienced it is let them go and do the install themselves and come back to you with some questions, because they will if they have them. Other people, hold their hand, guide them, assure them. It just makes things so much easier. And I think that's really the hurdle that you have to take into account. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, privacy, a VPN, I heard about that. It's so terrible. It's like, no, it's really not. They've kind of demonized these things in the media here and there and made it so, they want you to believe that it's a really hard journey to get to have privacy and take some of your data back. But it really is a simple 30-second to 1 minute install, and you're off and running. So I kind of just always, no matter what, if there is a problem or they're getting getting kind of nervous or there's questions that they feel that they have that they're not being heard, I just assure them, you're going to learn this in time. And before you know it, you're going to be teaching and telling all of your friends about this.
Yeah.
So just try to remind them, be patient, and go from there. And take your tech experience that you have and learn that. I was a pre-sales engineer for years, so I learned the skill of being able to kind of assure people and be the middleman. And that's kind of how I always look at this. Like, I'm a pre-sales engineer with this. Like, I'm going to teach people as well as be able to talk the tech. You know what I mean? But be able to keep it. What I like to say in tech, and we've said it for years, is simple, stupid. So you
Yeah.
don't make people feel that they're intimidated.
Yeah.
And that's really the goal, and it's worked for me so well. I've gotten a lot of people that I know have signed up for the service, so
Super
it's a
cool.
really easy way to go about it. Yeah,
Super cool. Yeah, but also of course, like the free version already gives tons of privacy, and I think we talked
absolutely.
about this in the past, and I think yeah, on GitHub I always try to mention this as well. Especially when talking about stuff like the sync feature, which is an automatic export of all the settings, of course, as well, and import if you set it up like this on a different machine. It's all privacy related stuff is in the free version, and then quality of life is in the plus version, and then SPN is of course the service. So it's and that's included in Pro. So that's the way that we think about it. And I liked how Daniel, I think the last live stream he was on, actually said like for us and for him mentally it was so good to have the plus version, because it allowed us to put work into Portmaster directly without thinking we abandon all the people who are paying us because they pay for SPN and not for Portmaster, and now we have this. So everybody who's complaining about us charging for a couple of features, it's a good thing. Otherwise, the features would not come, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is
I always say,
interesting. Yeah,
yeah, I always say the small amount of price of the $10 a month is
yeah,
a small order to pay for privacy.
yeah,
You're losing much more than $10
yeah,
a month when you're kind of out there for the world to just kind of eat you up data wise. And I think it's really important. I think it's going to be a very important issue coming very soon here. You have your elections here. You've got your cryptocurrency arenas. You've got just the word getting out that your data may not be as private as you would like it to be.
yeah,
So don't get exploited by the exploitables, the marketing juggernauts that are trying to take advantage. And this tool is just so amazing. When you explain it to people how it works, it really piques their interest because they know that there's a reason that they should obtain privacy, but they just don't necessarily know how
hmm,
or all the reasons why. And I think that's a good thing to do if you're going to promote it. Try to educate yourself on the privacy issues that other people are experiencing,
yeah,
and move it into safing and explain, hey, this solves your problem. This makes it easier. It's not nothing is bulletproof. You always have to make sure that you let everyone know that. But this is the pinnacle of the start of the true privacy
yeah,
era with safing, and it's so much more advanced than VPNs and everything else. It's like you could just go on and on forever, and that's one part. That's one thing to make sure you don't do overwhelm your person you're telling to go through it. And I always want to keep stressing that because I have the gift of gab, and when you really believe in a project, and you put your heart and soul into it, it just comes so easy.
yeah,
And privacy is such an easy conversation starter.
yeah, yeah. What do you find is one of the more like arguments that people actually, which resonates with people when you talk about privacy?
I think mainly the biggest thing is the hurdle. I feel that people get nervous when anything is to be installed on their computer. I think
Yeah,
they have a false sense of their own security. Like we as tech people can get very detailed,
yeah,
down to the packet, right? I always like to say it that way. And people say, well, I've got my antivirus, and yeah, well, yep, they've included this VPN too. I have a free VPN.
yeah,
I have a free, and I always like to say, well, unfortunately, there's nothing free, and I don't want to burst your bubble, and I want to be very kind about this, but you haven't been achieving any kind of privacy whatsoever with a tool like that versus a tool like ours. And you don't want to sound too egotistical about our
yeah,
tool saving, but at the same time, it's kind of not hard. kind of hard to not be technical and really advanced about it. But like I
Yeah.
said, you kind of got to tone that stuff down and keep it, like I said, simple, stupid. I don't like to really use that term, but it gets the point across.
Yeah.
Because people will then trust you, and that's the hardest thing that I've run into is people wanting to trust me with their PC. And I assure them I always bring my laptop and say, "See, look, I'm doing it." And this is how it works. Look at how I can set my exit node to another country, or look at the difference in my search results. Like if
Yeah.
I go to Google and search out of Austria versus Google searching out of New York City or Chicago, where I'm at, it's completely different. And that, I think, really blows people away. So that's the biggest hurdle, is just assuring them that it's a safe program, and it's something that you really should use. And that pretty much is, eh, once you start that conversation, everything else starts to fall into place.
And regarding this, what I found as well is what is at least most compelling to me is regarding privacy. It's not that I don't trust the situation now. Maybe I might trust my ISP, my current one. I might trust even Google to some extent at the moment. But what I'm not sure is how, like, will this data stay with that person that I trust? I don't know about the security at my ISP. I don't know about the security. I mean, Google is fairly good, but like, will this data stay with them? And then the next question, how will this data be used in the future? So it's less about trusting them now with their current incentives. It's not trusting where the data will be used in the future. And so just not spreading the
Exactly.
data is one of the things. And I don't know if anybody watching this has seen, apparently more and more car insurance is currently collecting data and increasing premiums based on driving behavior. And what people are saying, well, since I got that car, I'm driving better. And what I'm not sure is if they may be collecting different data from the past as well, and using that as well and stuff like that. So maybe they're basing their models then on old data, predicting a future for you that you might not actually be heading down towards and stuff like that. And as you said with search results as well, you're only always as free as the options you see. If you don't see options, then you don't have them, and then you're like locked into that narrow street. And this gives, of course, search engines huge power over us. And I would always encourage people to use multiple search engines and maybe to use libraries again and stuff like that. Go to
Yes.
direct to sources and stuff like that, because search engines also, in an effort to sort of like cater, of course, to their audience, they have to filter. So they have to
Yeah.
reduce the amount of volume of stuff that they actually share. And so you can always be as free as the options you see. I think is a very good thing to keep in mind. And then again, like the data you spread, the data that's out there, in the future, it can be used as well in means that you don't anticipate now. And so just not spreading it, I feel like is the best option, the best cause of action.
Absolutely. That's what I let people know, that I don't think that they realize how this data is going to carry with them over the years and could be used against them. In the European Union, you guys, or just over in Europe in general, it seems you guys have a little bit more of a protection for some of the stuff. In the United States, it's almost as if the laws, some laws exist, but they don't. And people are really being subjected to having things being snooped upon. And like you were saying, they are with driving in your car and stuff like that, and your insurance rates go down. I
Or up.
think that this data is going to be used possibly against you or not necessarily against you. I guess that's the wrong way. To explain it, it's more or less used against to prorate your rates on everything, down to your mortgages, who you've talked to. I've read reports where people have said, well, I have a friend that's on my Facebook that got in trouble with the law, and now I'm worried that there's actuaries out there and people working on it where that may affect my credit score
Yeah.
because of this a group that I associate with. And I think people, when they start to hear this, when I tell them, because you never want to overwhelm them, and that's what I'm always going to keep going back to, don't overwhelm them because they'll get stage fright. and
Yeah.
they'll lock up, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, with all the things I got to do, my bills, my mortgage, my kids. I mean, my kid's running out and he's starting a tree on fire. How am I going to worry about privacy? So keeping it light for people is the best way to go about this, because in the future, this is their goal. This because of the way the privacy is evolving with tools like safing, it's going to make it harder and harder to get this data.
Yeah.
So they need to immediately try to harvest as much as possible, and that is their main goal right now. And everybody's selling it. And it may be a third party that I say you got a business and you have a third party, you may not know what's actually being shared
Yeah.
with the third party application that you're using to run your own business. I've run into that where I've had to privatize certain things and make sure that there's disclaimers and things where I can't handle that. I can't protect you from that. With something like safing, people will start to realize, oh wow, I can do this a little bit. This isn't such an uphill battle where I know I'm out of the gate, I'm already in last place. It's like, no, actually, with the fact that you're even having a discussion about privacy, you're 50% of the way there. And I always let people know that you're already there. Just take another step, keep going, and we'll get there, because it's more important than ever that you keep your data and you own that data.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to, my goal is to make marketers be more transparent, and incentivize us to share with them. And I think there's a couple models out there that people are trying it, but I think it's really going to become the power will come back to us eventually with tools like safing. And I think that the more we get that across to people, the better it's going to become. And we can fight back against them. And this is how we're going to do it, by keeping our data private.
Absolutely. No, no, for sure. For sure. The fun thing was, a couple of days ago, I was driving with my wife and we were going past a huge office building, and it had some software company written in the front of it. And somebody said, like, oh, are they your competitors? And my wife immediately said, no, probably not. And she's like, why not? Because selling data is what brings you that kind of money. What brings in that kind of money. And
Absolutely.
if they would not sell data, they would probably not make that much money. And I'm not 100% agree. Like, you can be privacy respecting and get big as well. I feel like Proton is currently sharing a lot of their story, and people have opinions about Proton and Proton Mail and all that stuff. Don't want to get too much into this, but I feel like they're making a great business out of being a privacy-focused company as well. And Proton, interesting
Yeah, I
folks.
think Yeah, I think that it's climbing too. I think more people are starting to talk about privacy.
Yeah,
And I mentioned before, I think I did. We're going to peak here, or we're not going to peak. We're climbing up the peak. And I think that it's nice to be at the top of this right now and right at the forefront of it with with the multi-hop technology and splitting up, because people have heard of a VPN.
yeah,
And they'll say to me, "Oh, so say things like a VPN," and I'm like, "Well, it's a little bit more. It's kind of like VPN on steroids. It's kind of like the biggest guy in the gym, using one hand, because what we do is we go a lot further,
yeah,
and our passion is privacy for
yeah,
you. It's not about profit.
yeah,
We keep all the code is audible. We want you to tell us where we're wrong. We want you to tell us, hey, this is a marketing channel you might want to get into, this age group. Like, I've been trying to crack the code here, and I've focused on a ton of different types of genres, from parents, and parental blogs, dad blogs, mom blogs, and I'm always interested to see, are you teaching your kids about privacy? Like,
yeah,
this is something that's not, important for you, but you need to teach your kids early that this is something they need to be aware of. And young kids, they're like a sponge. I mean, they will absorb things so quickly if they find interest in them. And I think to really drive it home with them is to say, this may affect you later. Like, you want to go to college, you're in the ninth or 10th grade here, you want to go to college. Well, you need to quit screwing around online and doing this stuff and putting these things out there publicly. And I have noticed a shift in some of the generations. I noticed the people that are older, your baby boomers, which I don't really like to use that term because I think it divides the generations. And that's not what we need right now. All generations need to be communicating, especially around subjects like privacy. And I've noticed the millennials and the Gen Z, they are millennials are more interested in it from what I can see. Gen X, they know that there's a problem. I'm in Gen X category. We know there's a problem. We always have been. But like I said, lots of people don't know what tools to use, where to go. And I think that in a very short amount of time, things are really going to change. And I think that being able to promote and push privacy here is the way to go, and we're right on track with it. And we're right there we're all ready to take off. To figure out how to grasp this back, and I think it's just a matter of time before we really see some really big action. Like a lot of people have said, "Well, VPNs have been around for a long time, but not the way we're doing it." And I
Absolutely.
think even though we've been around here for a few years, I think you guys were just so ahead of the game in doing it that I think people are playing catch up now, and it's going to be an incredible journey going
And
forward.
it would be interesting to see how they would technically try to do it differently. Also very cool.
Yeah.
A couple things. So Innovator Dev, welcome. Innovator Dev just chatted something in on YouTube, and I'm not sure. I don't want to dox you or anything, but he says, "Hi from Texas. Can I buy SPN so I can access my favorite video website again?" So I guess you're either traveling or you're like trolling because Innovator Dev famously on the Discord is not from Texas. So um, I don't know if you know, Jeff, but Innovator Dev is one of our French people who we
Uh,
truly like as well, but it's very funny. And Texas, I think it would be even earlier in the morning. Texas, I think they are like even further
yeah,
behind.
they're an hour ahead of me, or an
Yeah,
hour behind me. So yeah, I'm
exactly.
Central. I think they're Mountain. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I absolutely agree what you said about the generations, and of course, like Danielle and me, we're millennials, so
Yep.
that's our age group. But I feel what I like about our Discord as well is I think we have Zoomers, millennials, and Gen X people. So we have all of the most recent. I don't know of any Boomers. Maybe
Oh no,
if
there's a couple.
there's a couple you already
There's a
know.
couple. I've
Okay.
had them on videos. Oh yeah, I've commanded that they watch the videos. A friend or two of mine, or people I've met, and I think that is what makes us special,
Yeah.
is that we are able to grasp everyone, because a lot of things are very grouped and categorized, and I mean that always makes it easier for the marketers. That's the goal of these data brokers, is to figure out how to divide us all into these little groups and then these subgroups, and then even drill down further, and it's such an easy job for them when they know our habits, when they know what our interests are online. It makes it just so much more easy to be exploited. And it's, yeah, so I think that that is really one thing that I really find so awesome about every this safing in general, is that I can talk to anyone about it, and that is really what the most important thing is because everyone deserves privacy. And keeping the communication flowing between the age groups
Yeah.
is really a goal of mine, period.
Super cool.
Because that's what I think the internet has kind of done. It's kind of divided everybody into such a small subgroup that we're kind of getting away from our core strength and our core power, and that's strength in numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think if we focus a little bit more on that, make everyone continuously feel welcome, there's no way we can't continue to succeed. So
I
I
so
think it's a
agree.
long journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long journey. It doesn't happen overnight, and there's always going to be somebody out there better and more tactical than you. There's always going to be. So don't be intimidated, because
Yeah.
there's people that have that passion to be that way. Just try to hear what they say, pick
Yeah.
up what you can, and always ask questions. And that's what I always tell people: don't be afraid to ask questions. It's almost as if the schooling systems and things that we have to go through in life, they don't not incentivize. They don't encourage us to ask questions. They want you to just feel that you already should know, and it's like nobody knows.
Yeah.
I tried to search for a program like this that you guys had developed and make it myself, and tried to do all this stuff, but I couldn't figure it out. But I didn't get intimidated by it. I tried to seek where I could find it, and I found it.
Yeah,
And I think that if you explain this to others, that it's not that hard of a journey, you're going to be successful, and they're going to love you for it, because the power that it get you feel, and the confidence that I've watched people gain when they know that they have this kind of privacy, it's a really good feeling. And let's face it, you can have all the money in the world, but there's nothing better than helping others. That's your
yeah.
most rewarding feeling. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And Innovator Dev said on the YouTube channel that he just wanted to help people in Texas to get on the other GitHub, the other hub, where he's like he heard that it has been banned in Texas. I don't know, and
ugh.
I don't care that much. If people from
That's one.
Texas want to use SPN, I guess it would work like that. But have not tested. Have not been to Texas yet. So, but love to visit as well. I have people who I know who moved there over the years. So maybe, but yeah, a U.S. tour in the future, traveling through all the states.
Yeah,
Who knows?
absolutely. I would be happy to drive you around all over the place. I always
Cool.
like to tell people Texas is a big country. It's definitely more than a state. Because
Absolutely.
it's definitely different from east, west, north to south. So,
Hmm.
Texas is going to be an interesting place here in the next few years.
Who? Yeah,
I'll say
absolutely.
that.
I think from a size perspective, I think it's half of Europe. So we, of course, in Europe are
Yeah.
very densely populated, especially in the
Mhm.
German-speaking area. I was very amazed when I saw like how little, and Innovative Dev, of course, is watching. Maybe some comment here, but France is less populated per square kilometer than the German speaking areas, as far as I can tell. And I was very like
Yeah.
amazed by this because I thought like when I visited France in a couple of cities, of course it feels very European, it feels very similar, but they have much bigger areas in between. So love to know what the perspective of a French person would be. Yeah, no,
Yeah, I'm looking forward. And
we're
I'm looking forward to coming to Austria to
yeah,
see you
please,
guys as well.
please do.
Definitely going to be thinking about that over the next few months, and we'll discuss it, because I think it would be. Then we can hold a safing live with the team or something like that. And I
When
mean, this shows worldwide camaraderie that we have here.
absolutely.
This is a worldwide project with people all over, and it's just amazing to be able to, the people that I've met in the Discord, or have talked to. It's just like it's the best Discord I'm in, and I can't, and it's a part of my passion to be in it. So, like I said, this is really cool, and I look forward to meeting you guys one day soon.
Please, yeah, no, absolutely. Would love to. And I actually like, we haven't met in person yet, but other people have been coming and I had coffee with them. So if anyone watching here is interested in catching up and stuff, let me know. Chat us up on the Discord and let's get together. You're absolutely right. I like the community. I like how open it is. I like how friendly people are here. So I have not had a bad experience yet. Not looking forward to
Yeah,
one,
no, no,
but have not
no,
had
no,
one yet. So let
no,
me
incredible feedback.
share with the
But
audience. I actually met somebody else for coffee and some pizza last week. I met the people behind Little Snitch for the first time last week. People who have a Mac and are on Mac OS probably won't watch this, but maybe have used Mac OS in the past and have been looking for an alternative for Little Snitch on Linux or Windows and found safing through that because like Little Snitch is similar to what Portmaster does. And we knew that they are in the Vienna area, and we are as well. So we met them last week, Daniel and I. He was well last week. Now he isn't, but the pizza was good. So I don't think that was the issue here. Um, and they were very nice. They were very nice people. But again, it showed me from what they told, what their experience has been over the years, and they're much older than we are. They're Gen X, of course, but they are like they started Little Snitch in the '90s. Daniel and
wow,
I have been born in the '90s, so their project is much older than ours. But what has been super interesting is them telling how their community shifted over the years, and they actually stopped their community forum because it has not been very like welcoming like ours is. So it gave me a much bigger appreciation of our community, of like having people like Innovative Dev, of course, who's watching, and of course you, Jeff, who has been a huge force for good on the Discord as well, like moderating and catering to a better like conversation tone and stuff like that. Being curious, encouraging questions, and like, yeah, I feel like there have been a couple of attempts where people have been making interesting statements, but it's always encouraging to see how the community reacted to those.
Yeah, that's for the beach bar and the Discord. And like I said, this is about the kindest, most open-minded, and supportive Discord that I've literally ever been in. And I look forward to it every day, even when I see the mod operator notes that somebody said a certain word or whatever. I used to get like my stomach would kind of drop for a second, like, okay, it's 7 in the morning. I just woke up, but I got to deal with this. But every time I've gone to it, it's just been someone explaining something with passion and detail.
Yeah.
And it's been such a great experience. I just can't complain. And like I said, I want everyone to know that I'm there for you to answer any kind of questions. You know, if you want to direct message me, you can. If I have the time to answer, I will. If it's, you know, try to keep the super important things to direct messages so the other people can see in the general subject or category or whatever what we're talking about, and maybe they can chime in as well. But like I said, I'm here. I'm happy to answer questions, share marketing ideas with anyone, or hear any ideas that anyone else has about promoting, safing, and stuff like that. Anyone that would want to, even assist me, I'm open to that too. I'm a marketer at heart. I love the whole aspect of it, and especially when you're really passionate about a project like this, and it has a use case beyond belief. It makes it really easy, but I don't want to silo myself. I want different ideas from other people, because that only creates a bigger community. That
Yeah.
only gets the word out about privacy to everyone. And like I said, it's we're not necessarily in it for profit. Yeah, we want to be able to survive and keep the project going, but really, this is privacy,
Yeah.
and this is kind of something that I feel is one of my life's callings, and to be here to be able to do it on a daily basis has been. I just can't describe how good it feels to be able to help others on this journey. And again, anyone in Discord wants to get a hold of me, let me know. I'm here for you.
Mike J on Discord. And you have been at this for 2 years. So for people who have just joined us
Yep.
on the live stream, you've been talking to us via Jitsi, and I think this was prior to Discord. We started the Discord together,
Yeah.
I think. So
Yeah, it was prior. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
and 2 years ago, Portmaster looked so different and everything. It's amazing. For us, it sometimes is very interesting to go back and look and talk and stuff like that. And if the people watching would like to maybe have something like that, maybe Jeff, when you're in Austria, maybe then we will do pull out old screenshots of Portmaster and talk about some how this all evolved over the time. Would be super interesting. Yeah, maybe if you want to see that, let us know in the comments. Let us know on the Discord or in the chat if you're watching live. But as you, Jeff, I think you try to make the live stream, but I feel like in the past, if you haven't, you probably watched it back as well. So
Absolutely.
I think we have tons of people for whom it's too early to watch it, because a lot of people who are using Portmaster, who are active on a Discord, actually are in North America. So yeah, you say you wake up and have stuff you want to check. For me, it's the same thing. But for me, the time difference has already been this is 6 hours or more in the past. So
Yeah.
I'm like, my 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, people have been writing stuff and on the Discord. I'm like, oh no. But the Discord auto mod is actually not too bad. And we actually have to enable it. Maybe that's an interesting behind the scene for people to know. We actually have to enable it to be publicly findable and stuff like that for the Discord. And for us, the reason to be on the Discord, not just because it's a cool app that you can actually chat with, it is to be able to grow the community there actively. And so being able to be found, able to share, able to whatever, some stuff that Discord just requires, so that they can be certain that the community is has a good baseline of moderation, a good baseline of stuff, and that's the auto mods. So if you're curious why some of the stuff does not fly on our Discord but on others, the others probably are closed. The others probably don't need to grow or don't want to grow, and our Discord is growing rapidly. Like, I think last time I said something about 1.5 thousand, we're at 1.7 thousand people on the Discord now. So yeah, Discord is growing.
Yeah, it's growing. It's growing, and I know I'm in the right place when right before you're waking up, you're saying to yourself, I got to get on Discord. I got to get over to the Safing Discord. It actually has just a passion for it, and I hope other people feel like I feel over time as they get involved in the project. I actually love getting up on Thursday mornings when you hold these early to get prepared, to come with questions and things like that, because this is it's just a very special place. I mean, this is a extremely privacy-oriented community that you won't just find anywhere, like I said,
Yeah.
and it's to be able to have it be so open and everyone's so kind. It's really helped the project progress, I believe.
Yeah.
It's helped me in my marketing. It's given me everybody's comments in the Discord and the videos that I can count on, or us getting together every 2 weeks. It's just given me such an ability to be comfortable out there promoting the product and giving it to people that I care about. And it just gives me an extra added incentive to kind of go a little bit further and try and really explain to people, hey, use this, this small $10 a month. If you don't have it, use it free. If you can support us, that's
Absolutely.
fine. But the small amount that you're paying is has so much more worth than what is actually being taken from you over time. And you're going to see this in the next few years. It may not affect you right now today, but eventually, it's like running around or trying to do track when you're overweight. Your knees are going to give out after a while, and this is something that's going to catch up with you later. And I try to let everybody know, kind of be proactive.
Yeah.
With privacy. Proactive privacy is a way to go, and I encourage anyone else to come up with any of those kinds of slogans for us, or anything that we can review to help promote the project better. I've been guilty of dressing up as Santa Claus and holding Santa Claus during holiday promos and things like that, and trying to make it fun and happy, because privacy can be
Yeah.
a serious issue, but
Yeah.
I think bringing a little bit of comedy into it, or just lightheartedness, it goes a long way, especially with family. And I
Yeah.
think that's that's the people that you care about the most, is your family, and trying to explain it to them. And they'll say, you always have people in your family that'll be like, oh, come on, Raphael or Jeff, are you kidding? I've known them since they were 4. They can't be these experts in privacy. And so you got to kind of set those things aside. Don't worry about anybody, if they're, get on you because they're worried. It usually is just coming from a place of insecurity and lack of knowledge about it, and it's my responsibility, I feel, to be able to teach them and make them comfortable. And Safing just makes it too easy, in my opinion. So that's just the way I feel. And I hope everybody else can hear me here. And like I said, if you have any questions, I'm always up for conversation.
Super cool. Yeah, no, and I so agree with your sentiment in regards to being uncomfortable. When Danielle asked me that the two of us will give an expert talk about FIDO and WebAuthn, I'm like, an expert talk? I don't know. Like, I know stuff about this, but teaching others,
Right.
and it has been a blast, and it has been very cool and stuff like that. And I like that the conversation on Discord spilled actually over, and people are now on our Discord talking about like physical hardware tokens and so on, and different
Yep.
people sharing their experiences with different brands and stuff like that. So that's not everything is a YubiKey, but there are different ones out there as well, and super interesting. I learned stuff after the talk on the Discord, and I wanted to actually maybe then tell people, oh, see, I showed off those keys, but they have a drawback that I'm not sure that I like. But super interesting. Super interesting.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
think.
basically recommending, just to throw that out there as well, maybe we should have something like a memes channel or something on the Discord.
Sure.
Is this something you're
Yeah.
suggesting?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I'm really open to that. I think lots of people have incredible ideas. They just need to know and feel that they have a place that they can share them comfortably, and without criticism. And
Yep.
sometimes constructive criticism is good
Yeah.
because that can evolve into them taking their original idea and having it evolve into something much bigger. I make up little cards and postcards and then drop them off in different places. And I've gone back and I've talked to different people and said, yeah, I picked up your card. I saw it. I did this, and once they get a hold of you, I explain to them, hey, maybe I can entice you with a free month or something like that, or give you a gift to it. But try it free first. See how you're working. So you always have that you can work into the conversation. And I just think that it's the Discord is invaluable for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So please, people, bombard me with it, and I'd be happy to collaborate with you. Any graphic designers out there, anyone that wants to get their feet wet that maybe hasn't been in marketing like I have. I've been in tech for 28 years. I probably should have explained this in the beginning
You
of
did.
the call. I've been in tech for 28 years. Yeah, okay, and I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I've seen so much come and so much go, and so many projects that nobody thought would even ever make it, and it got a lot bigger than it was. So like I said, I'm open, and keep it coming. I just, like I said, I can't stress enough how cool our Discord is. Some of the Discords that I'm in, I don't even want to go there or look at it, but you kind of have to. But I'm always willing, coming back here with information. Like you said, I learned so much more on how to use safing and how to evolve with it into other projects, like for photography business that I have in storing certain clients' photos that is completely encrypted in a really nice place to store them. I would have never found it without being here first.
Yeah.
And it's almost near impossible to keep up with some of the stuff that's coming out as
Yeah.
well. And we all have such diverse backgrounds, but we all come together right here. So it's really cool.
It is super cool. It is super cool. Okay, then, to wrap things up, because it's almost 4 o'clock and no open questions, but thank you, of course, Innovate to Death, for chatting with us on YouTube. And thank you, Jeff, for joining me here via audio. Super cool.
Anytime.
And if you want to hear more from Jeff, maybe also write comments below. He, of course, as he said, is active on Discord. So if you write them on the Discord in the associated chat for this video, you can probably just add him as well. Link is in the description for the Discord chat for this video. Just go there. Also, I will not quite yet create a memes channel, but if you want to see one, let us also know in the description or on the Discord. The beach bar is the best place if you have memes that you want to share them. There have been already some shared in the past. And if we continue seeing that this is a cool thing, then we might just go ahead and create a memes channel. That would be fine by me, but we already have a couple of channels and I'm not sure. I don't want to just add another channel, as I guess
Yeah.
most people understand. The Discord is already pretty filled, and the FAQ videos, maybe a shout out for those. There is a channel. It's not being used too much, but I'd love to have more people asking questions for FAQ videos, also rate and rank them, maybe do some follow-up questions. Let me also know how you find them. Like, are they useful? Are they too long, too short, too rambly? I mean, we're not a production company here. So I'm just trying my best, hopping in front of the camera, doing some explainer, and then just like upload it, cutting off the front and the back so that you don't see me preparing and you don't see me like closing up shop afterwards. So that's the thing, and then uploading it. So please give feedback. Jeff, some closing words to your audience and maybe some future listeners and watchers.
Oh yeah, I definitely, like I said, please contact me. I'm trying to crack the code on who is the best generation and well, not best generation. Who is our best customer? is what I'm trying to find out, and how to grow that customer base. We all know everyone involved in tech loves safing, and loves all of the tinkering and everything that we can do around it. But one of my main goals, and I think I can speak for everyone on the team, is to try to get more users and spread the power of privacy through safing. And that would be pretty much, my message. If you got any groups or anyone that you think that I could have a talk for online or do anything like that, I'm open to that as well. You got a group of people that in your local town that you got together that you want me to do a presentation for, that's great. If all goes well, I'll be speaking to the graduating class of Indiana University's law class on safing and the privacy issues around that.
Super
And
cool.
so that's pretty much, just keep up the work you're doing in the Discord. Stay involved with us. We're open. Help me out with marketing. I'm willing to put everything on the line to make sure that this project continues to be a success. And I appreciate everyone that's given me comments and everything, and kept me going,
Super
and
cool.
and given me the encouragement to spread the word. So I really appreciate it and love you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Okay, then. Thank you for everybody who has been watching, everybody who has been commenting, of course, Innovate to Dev, but also people on the Discord, some people in advance. If you have any questions, feelings, let us know in the comments below or on the Discord, and see you in 2 weeks. Hopefully, again with Daniel. And if you want to see more or hear more about Jeff, let us also know, and have a good time and see you around.